In the inscription, there were history, chronology. So, the queen wanted to preserve all the ancient inscriptions. Pallava and Pandya were, there is a great war between Chola kingdom and Pallava and Pandya and Muttaraya. Even then, the queen wanted to preserve the inscriptions and donations of their opponents. How great it is, we have to understand. What is the year, date is mentioned in that inscription, and also name of the persons, either king, queen, army chief or chief of mud or famous personalities. That is more important. That rules the date of inscriptions. So, it is not the writing style or any character of the letters that you should not rely on it. It has only a secondary significance. If there is a disagreement between the dates inscribed and the writing style and script, then the date always prevails over the style, script and character of the letters. So, based on style, script, characters, the date cannot be said to be wrong and not acceptable. That is the important thing. That is the most important thing.
Namaskaram. Welcome to Sangam Talks. It's a pleasure today to introduce Dr. M.L. Raja. He is a doctor of medicine, an eye specialist who has also studied ancient Tamil literature and mastered the art of reading and understanding Tamil inscriptions and manuscripts. He has authored many books on Tamil literature and history and translated essential and relevant passages in Tamil epics, kavyam, texts and inscriptions that highlight the unity of Bharatiya culture from times immemorial. It's a real pleasure that he has been nominated by His Excellency Honorable Vice President of Bharat and Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Dr. Shri Jagdeep Dhankar, as Chair of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. His today's lecture will be on re-inscription of ancient original inscriptions in temples.
Vanakkam, Namaskar. First of all, I express my heartfelt thanks to Sangam Talks, the trustees and the management officials, and also Sri Colonel Ramakrishnan sir for the excellent introduction of myself and the subject. I once again express my namaskar to one and all. I am Dr. M.L. Raja, an eye specialist and also an archaeologist, epigraphist and postgraduate in history. I am doing research on the ancient historical chronology of our nation as Director of Avinas and Director of Rich, and also as pointed out by our Colonel sir that recently I have been nominated by His Excellency Honorable Vice President of our nation and also the Chairman of Rajya Sabha as Dr. Radhakrishnan Chair of Rajya Sabha for research work. These are all my contact numbers and mail ID. In this lecture, I am going to narrate about re-inscription. What is re-inscription? Why it is needed? What is its significance and importance in deriving the dates of various inscriptions and the historical chronology of our nation? This is the most important aspect in studying and analyzing the inscriptions. So, when we read more and more inscriptions, thousands and thousands, in our nation there are more than 2 lakhs of inscriptions, and if we go study and analyze these inscriptions, we can definitely come across many re-inscribed inscriptions. Sometimes even in the inscription itself, it was mentioned that it is a re-inscribed inscription of an old one. And the most important point is the re-inscription is carried out without altering the original content of the previous inscription. But the script or the writing style of the older inscription, which cannot be understood by the common public at the period of re-inscription, so the scholars or the re-inscribed persons will re-inscribe without altering the content of the earlier inscription, but the writing style and script will be of the period of re-inscription. That is more important. The content is same, but the writing style and character and script will be of the period of re-inscription. These 2 points we have to understand properly. Why the re-inscription is needed? Why we have to do re-inscription of the older inscription? See, in our nation, most of the inscriptions are inscribed on the stone. Sometimes pillar, sometimes stone plates, or sometimes on the wall of the temple, mostly stones. Sometimes there may be crack in the stone due to time, wear and tear, or the stone itself got damaged. So, that warrants the re-inscriptions. Sometimes the inscription is on the stones and it is part of the wall of the temple. Sometimes the whole building of the temple or part of the building of the temple got debilitated, damaged, and due to time or weather conditions or any calamities or by foreign aggressive forces. So, at that time it also makes us to re-inscribe the older inscriptions. Sometimes the temples may be constructed in the earlier period in brick structure, but later period when the people or the king or queen or the ruler or anybody want to rebuild the temple in a stone structure. In Tamil we call it as Kattrali. So, at that time the inscriptions are in the stones, but the building is in brick structure. So, if we damage or reconstruct the temple in stone structure, the older inscription also should be re-inscribed. In case of copper plate or any other plate, it has its own lifetime, no? So, it will go wear and tear. So, at that time we go to the earlier copper plate inscription should be re-inscribed. The most important example for this copper plate re-inscription is the inscription of Janamejaya, who is the grandson of Arjuna, the brother of Dharma, Panchapandava. He came to rule after Parikshita Maharaja. He has given 2 inscriptions, one found at Karnataka and another at Haryana. J.F. Fleet and other Western scholars, what they thought, it is a forgery because it mentioned that it's a period of Janamejaya king, that is at least nearly 5000 years before. But the letters and characters, lipi, script and writing style are 200-300 years before. So, based on that they ruled that it is a forgery. But they have not understood this. Copper plate, any copper plate cannot last for 5000 years. That we can, even a common man can understand that. But why these European scholars couldn't understand this very ordinary fact? It's a matter of question, whether they wantedly do it or unwantedly, unknowingly do it, I don't know. But it is entirely non-logic. There is no logic in it. There is no common sense in it. That we have to understand. So, like palm leaf or paper manuscript, every year, every 200 or 300 years, it will get damaged. So, it is a routine practice in our nation that we usually rewrite the ancient content in a new palm leaf or paper manuscript. In the same way, copper plate or any metal, it will also will not last long, more than 500 years. So, we have to re-inscribe. In the same way, any stone building, it has its own lifetime. That is at the maximum 1500 to 2000 years. Even if, if there is a poor maintenance, when the economic condition of the nation go down, or there is a foreign aggressive forces, the people has to always fought with the foreign aggressors. There is no time to maintain the inscriptions or temples. So at that time, their lifetime will reduce much, even 500 years. So sometimes the foreign aggressive forces totally damaged the temples which has inscriptions. So it leads to re-inscription. When they rebuilt the temple, they re-inscribe in a new stone the ancient inscriptions without altering the content in a script, in character of a period that during which it is inscribed. This is the most important point I want to stress. Is there any proof for this re-inscription? In Tamil Nadu and Tirupati, there are a lot of proofs. If you go on study inscriptions, you can find. See, for example, in inscription at Tirupati, you can refer the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam inscription, volume 1 earlier inscriptions. It mentioned in the serial number 88, there is an inscription that was re-inscribed. There are evidences. In the same way, if you see in Kutrala, there is famous waterfall in Kutrala, South Tamil Nadu. There is a temple, Iswara temple, Kutralanatha Swami Temple. In that, during the period of Rajya Chola, that is more than 1000 years before, he inscribed something on that temple wall stone. But during the time and where 1000 years has gone, that inscription got damaged. So that was re-inscribed. But the most important thing is, during Rajaraja Chola period, the script was Vattaluthu in Tamil. But when during the time of re-inscription of the ancient Rajaraja Chola's inscription, the Vattaluthu that has gone. People cannot understand Vattaluthu. So the re-inscribed person, what he did, he re-inscribed the Vattaluthu ancient Rajaraja Chola inscription in a Tamil letters of that period. So Vattaluthu is not inscribed. It is Vattaluthu, but now new Tamil script was used. That is important. See, you can see this ARIE, a director of epigraphy, the transcription. I have to thank ARIE for using this photocopy. So this transcript clearly mentioned Panninnadathu Thirumalayil Vetta Kalvettu Vattamagiyaal. It is Vattaluthu. Tamilaga Padiyeduthu Kalvettuga. So you change Tamil Vattaluthu into the Tamil script that was used during the period of re-inscription. Clearly mentioned in the re-inscription inscription itself. And inscription at Tirukodikaval. Tirukodikaval is a Iswara temple, Tirukodika Iswara temple. It is located on the north bank of Kaveri river, and it is between Kumbakonam, the famous temple city, and Mayiladurai in Tanjavur and Mayiladurai, that district border. In that, the Pallava king, during Pallava, that is more than 1300-400 years, the Pallava king constructed the temple in a brick structure. But when Uttama Chola, who was a previous ruler of Rajaraja Chola, his mother was Chembiyan Mahadevi, that king wanted to reconstruct the temple in a stone structure. There were earlier inscriptions, earlier Choras, Pallava, Pandya and Muttaraya. So what the queen made is, she ordered that the earlier inscriptions should be re-inscribed in the stone wall of the temple. So that much that Queen Madam was very conscious, because in the inscription there were history, chronology. So the Queen wanted to preserve all the ancient inscriptions. Pallava and Pandya were, there is a great war between Chola kingdom and Pallava and Pandya and Muttaraya. Even then, the Queen wanted to preserve the inscriptions and donations of their opponents. How great it is, we have to understand. These are all the evidence. You can study all these annual reports on Indian epigraphy, South Indian inscriptions, and also Trikodika Kalvettukal in Tamil. You can go and see more than 25 inscriptions are re-inscribed, and many of the inscriptions, almost all the inscriptions, இதுவும் ஒரு பழங்கல் கல்வெட்டு படி. That is, it's a copy of ancient inscription. That Queen Madam mentioned that also. That we have to understand. And also there is a Adimoola Perumal Vishnu temple in Nattam in Tiruchirappalli district. It was the earlier inscription of Rajaraja Chola was re-inscribed during Kulothunga period. These are the photocopies. I personally went to that temple to copy this. In that you can see Palangal Vittu Padi. That is the copy of old inscriptions. I have taken many photos, only for want of space I have shown only 4 copies. And inscriptions is Tirukurungudi. It is southern Tamil Nadu, Tirunelveli district. I thank Commissioner of, it is in Pudukkottai district, Commissioner of Museum, Government Museum, Chennai. It also Tirukali, that is that temple was got debilitated, got damaged. Ilithi Seigayal, that is damaged. Idil Mumbu Kalvettinapadi. That is the previous inscription was again re-inscribed. Clear, it is there. Idil Mumbu Kalvettinapadi. Padi means copy. Okay, the copper plate inscription issued in Kalyuga, that is a more important thing. Even Western scholars, some of the Western scholars accepted this. Robert Savile is a Western scholar who studied a lot of copper plate inscriptions of southern India. He wrote a book on a list of inscriptions and sketch of dynasties of southern India, compiled under order of government Robert Savile. It is published in 1884. It is an inscription of Rajavira Chola, that is Kulothunga, in the period of 1089, nearly 950 years before. It mentioned the date in Kali Yuga 4190. But there is some Persian symbol, Persian like letters, and a seal of some Persian seal, for some any sultan or something. So that raised doubt, where the dates is nearly 950 years before. At that time, no sultan rule was in Tamil Nadu. So there is a confusion whether to accept it or not. But what is the ruling given by Robert Savile? He excellently mentioned the no person who inscribed as a forgery to put a Persian seal on that. So he mentioned that like that. He cannot be a foolish person to he made a seal of Persian on the inscription. So what is his ruling is, they form a series of copies of older authentic documents. It is, see, they form a series of copies of older authentic documents, and this ruler at that time, that is after some 500 or 600 years or 700 years, the ruler at that area, some sultan or somebody, he put it the seal to authenticate it, so that this donation should continue. That is the ruling given by him. So Robert Savile correctly understood the thing, and he actually given. And you can see one interesting, with that I will close, I will complete. There is a famous Shiva temple near Grand Anakat. Grand Anakat is a dam constructed by Karigal Peruvalata, a famous Chola emperor, some more than 2000 or even we can say 3000, 4000 years before. Even now the dam is existing, and it gives irrigation to thousands and thousands of hectares of Chola area. So that on the north bank of that Kaveri river, very close to Grand Anakat and Tiruchirappalli city, there was a place called Tirumalapadi, and in that Vaidyanatha Swami Temple, there are 2 inscriptions. One is by Rajaraja Chola, another is by Rajendra Chola, who ruled Chola kingdom some 900 to 1000 years before. So when Rajaraja Chola visited the temple, at that time the temple Vimana and temple structures were not in a good condition and debilitated. So he ordered that it should be reconstructed in a proper manner. But what he ordered to the officers, you got to take copies of all the previous inscriptions. And another officer should verify whether it is copied properly. And after that only you have to destroy the damaged Vimana and reconstruct it. This was the order given by King Rajaraja Chola. But unfortunately, in the 1013 Common Era, he passed away. 1 year. So that next was his son Rajendra Chola became king, and he carried out his father's order, and he verified that the inscriptions are copied properly, documented properly and verified properly, and he ordered that this Puttaka, that it mentioned Puttaka means book, that book he verified and found correct, and on reconstruction of that Vimana and temple, he see to that every inscription is properly re-inscribed. So there are lot of evidence for that, and I have told what is re-inscription, why it is needed, and if there is any proof, what is its significance. It is needed, but the content is same, but the script is altered to a period of re-inscription so that the people at that period can understand and read the inscription. That is essential. So that's why they, instead of using older script, they used the modern script. Now I come to the conclusion. Hence, what is significance is the date of an inscription should be fixed based on the era inscribed. What is the year? Date is mentioned in that inscription, and also name of the persons, either king, queen, army chief or chief of mutt or famous personalities. That is more important. That rules the date of inscriptions. So it is not the writing style or any character of the letters that you should not rely on it. It has only a secondary significance. If there is a disagreement between the dates inscribed and the writing style and script, then the date always prevails over the style, script and character of the letters. So based on style, script, characters, the date cannot be said to be wrong and not acceptable. That is the important thing. That is the most important thing. Thus, based on characters, writing style and script, the date of the inscribed in the inscription cannot be ignored. It has primary importance. It prevails over the writing style. The date inscribed is the prime one, then the script and writing style and characters. This is a very important point to be considered on reading, understanding and dating the inscriptions. With that, I conclude. I once again thank Sangam Talks and Colonel Sir for giving me a great opportunity to share my views with the elite audience of Sangam Talks. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Dhanyavad.